If you could give your 20-year-old self any tips, advice, counsel, what would it be, or what would they be?
Bro, that is such a hard question, dude. And a lot of people say, no, it's because I gotta get it out. I gotta get my youth out. You know, I gotta go make my mistakes. No, you don't.
I asked that question because that's something I always think about now as a 34-year-old. I just exposed my age.
I'm 32. Okay, so next portion, what we're gonna do is we are gonna invite a lot of people on. We're gonna talk to them about their lives, talk to them about purpose, talk to them about leadership, or anything that they find that's been impactful in their life. But before we do that, we're gonna interview each other. So Bronco's gonna ask me some questions, I'm gonna ask Bronco some questions, and we hope that it blesses you. I wanna ask you some questions first.
Okay.
And I think we'll pick and choose depending on the guest.
Sure.
So first thing with you, bro, is what is one favorite thing, place, or anything from El Paso?
You know, one of the things I really like about this place is the diversity. I like that there's people from all over, man. You know, it's, Hispanic driven for sure, but you got people from all over, and that's what I like. And everybody in the community here kind of comes together as just El Paso, you know?
Yeah.
But that's what I really like, the diversity of the different type of ethnicities, cultures in the city.
I like that, dude.
Yeah.
I think there is that like unity though, right?
Yeah. You can feel it, man. And it's, there's times where it doesn't feel like it, but whenever it comes down to it, you see it.
Now, next question, a little deeper. What do you do, and do you currently find purpose in what you do in the big picture?
Man, this is a loaded question, dude. When I read this, I didn't know what to think. And to be honest with you, I didn't even come up with an answer.
Okay.
Right? But because I really wanted it to organically come out.
Walk me through it, yeah.
So, what do you do, and do you currently find purpose in it? And you mean big picture? There's several things. But one of the biggest ones, and one that I will touch on, like I think we touched on it a little bit on the last session, was being a dad and being a husband and a dad.
That's awesome, dude.
I'm not gonna say it's my job, but that's what I do every day, 24/7, no days off, is be a husband and be a dad. You know, the part about being a husband is that's who I'm gonna be for the rest of my life, right here on earth until I'm no longer here. And that's something that I strive for is I try to get better every day at being a husband, being available, being a good listener, helping out, giving advice, giving input. It's super important to me. So that for sure is something that I strive for and that I do right now. Now, the father part, man, I can go on forever about this, but I'm raising 2 adults, right? Soon to be adults. They're kids, but at the end of the day, they will be adults.
Yeah.
So being the best dad that I can be, I was raised by my dad, and he was great. Honestly, probably my best friend. And he did it the best he could. So now I see it as I have so much more potential than what he did. I have so much more opportunity than what he did, right? And he did the best he did with what he had, right? But now I look at it like, all right, let's go. I did this. Let's take it up to the next level and do what we got to do. But yeah, man, being a husband, being a father, that's it, man. That's my purpose right now. And like I said, there's a few, right? But this one for me is top of the list, man.
I think that's a great answer, man. Yeah, that's super awesome. Next question. Tell me a story that you think or believe defines you and who you are today. Tell me about a story in your life.
I would say the moment that I became a father at 19 years old.
That's big, man. That's big.
At 19 years old, man. And it is something that changed my life completely, right? I was going down a certain path, and this happened, right? Blessing from God. Became a dad, and I had a choice to make, right? So, went through trials, tribulations, went through a bunch of stuff, right? It wasn't easy, I'll tell you that much. But the moment that it did happen, it was a switch that I had to focus on and just run with it, right? Like this is what it is, man. You have a child, you have a commitment to your wife. So get up, run with it, and let's go. Now, like I said, like everything, right? I can get into all the details of all the stuff that I went through, that makes me who I am today. But that's something that defines me completely.
So the last question I have
Mhm.
is, give me 3 takeaways that can help others, and maybe you can base it off that,
Mhm.
or however you want to go about it.
So look, man, you said 3 takeaways. That's awesome. So there was 3 questions. So I'll do a takeaway per question. All
Okay,
right. What do you think?
do it.
Sounds pretty good. So the one of my takeaways from living in El Paso is that I don't take it for granted. We are very blessed here.
We are.
We are very economically stable here, as far as the city is very affordable. So my takeaway for that is, if somebody out there is looking to come down to El Paso, come down to El Paso, man. It's a great place to raise a family. It's a great place
It is, bro.
to go out and have fun with friends. We got no pro teams, but we got some sort of
Minor
sporting.
leagues,
Yeah, we
yeah,
got the minors. We got the
yeah.
locomotive USL. But that's a takeaway from that, man. Is El Paso's a great place to be, and I don't think I would leave, man. To be honest,
Dude, I'm the same way,
I don't think I
bro.
would
I
leave.
don't. I don't want to leave. I actually, Tiff would want to leave for a little bit.
Really?
Yeah, she
Yeah.
would. But I don't think. I think we'll try to find like a middle ground type of thing. Leave a month somewhere. Once in a while.
It's that sounds pretty cool. I
Hmm.
mean, you guys can do it. I mean, I know anybody can, but yours becomes a little bit more get up and go because it's just you two.
For now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Do it, bro.
Okay. Takeaway from question number 2.
That was what are you doing? Okay, man. What is the takeaway? For anybody out there that's in the grind of being a husband and being a father, is enjoy the journey.
Mm-hmm.
Enjoy the journey. That's the takeaway that I had to really think about and accept it, is
Mm-hmm.
enjoy the journey because it's beautiful, man. There's good days, there's bad days. There's times where you don't agree with what something your wife said. There's times when your kids are just being little punks, and they'll give you everything, right? But enjoy it, man, because those moments are precious. Those moments are something that doesn't last long. Just embrace them, man. That's
That's
my
cool.
takeaway on that, man.
Love that, bro.
Yeah.
Okay, last one. So, a third takeaway from having or being a father at 19.
At that age, I truly believed that I had made a mistake, right? Because I was 19, because
Yeah.
I had plans to do so many other things, right? Like the world is my oyster, man. And I was. But it wasn't a mistake. It clearly isn't now. My daughter's now 15. I love her to death, man. She's an awesome person. She's growing up to be an amazing woman, young woman. But it's those are blessings from God, and I think simple and plain is kind of to the second one, is embrace it, but I'd say really enjoy that moment is who you are today, and pick up and run with it. You can only get better from there.
Being that young and having to see the world like that raw, dude,
Yeah,
man, my respects, bro.
yeah,
And
man. It was.
I don't know how many people know who Branco is, but him and his wife, they're doing amazing things, and they made it work, and they made it work, through, I'm sure, lots of trials.
Oh
But I mean, look at you guys now,
yeah. Oh
man. It's
yeah, man.
amazing.
Yeah, and it's a never ending thing, right?
Of
You gotta
course.
you gotta you gotta keep watering it, bro. You gotta keep watering it
Yeah.
because in today's world now more than ever, it's so easy to take the easy path, right?
Yep.
But you just gotta hold strong, man. And then something we pride ourselves on, and something that's the center of it is just God.
Absolutely,
God is
bro.
everything. So
Everything.
as long as He's around and we're abiding by what He says and what He instructs us to do, then everything else falls into place, man. So yep.
Dude, yeah, it's amazing. I have a friend that he tells me all the time. I'm like, "Hey, bro, how are you doing?" And he's like, "Oh, watering my plants, bro. Watering my
Oh
plants."
really?
I love that saying,
And he's
dude.
just talking, but it's
He's
literal, or
no, like,
that's what he means.
yeah, that's what he means.
Yeah,
Like just watering those plants, dude. You have
dude,
to.
you have to, bro.
You have to.
That's so important.
Yeah.
It's a big one for sure.
Okay, bro. I'm ready. Let's
You ready,
go.
man? Israel, how would you describe yourself using 3 words?
Describing myself. Okay. I saw this question. He sent it to me before, which we'll do with any guest. We'll send questions before. I'm gonna change it a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna describe myself with 3 phrases. Okay, 3 titles. I'll call them
Okay.
3 titles. First one, and I thought about this for a long time, dude.
Did you?
Okay, yes, bro, for real.
All right.
Okay, so number 1, a purpose facilitator. And what I mean by that is that I believe that my life or my calling is to bring purpose out of others.
Mm.
You know, so like to see when I see potential in someone, I get excited because,
Yeah.
you know, especially if they're willing to be moldable.
Yeah.
And that's why I say purpose facilitator. My hope is to help others bring out the purpose from within them. God gives the purpose. We don't give purpose,
Right.
but we can help. Number 2, servant leader. I mean, maybe even that first and foremost, a servant to the Lord, a servant to myself, a servant to my wife, and to those around me. And you know what that comes down to, a servant leader, for those of you who might not know, a servant leader is someone who openly leads by example, who leads by doing the right thing. I got one more. So the last one is, okay, first one is purpose facilitator, second one servant leader, and then the third one is a bridge builder. I say that because if someone ever has something going on, it doesn't matter what it is,
Yeah.
any aspect, I could probably find someone to help you do it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like that's just like that's the type of person I am because I love to have conversations. I had this job for a while where I was traveling a lot, and I would bring Tiff with me sometimes, and she would hate it, dude, because I talk to every Uber driver. Every Uber driver. I'm that guy. Like,
Yeah.
I want to know why he's Uber driving.
Yeah.
I want to know what he actually does, if that's what he does,
Right.
you know.
Right.
But that's how I've built like this network within myself.
Yeah.
Is just talking to people.
That's awesome, dude. You know what? I can attest to that. When I met you, you had somebody for everything. You know, yeah, I can do that. We can try that. You know, I'll talk to my boy about that.
Yeah, dude.
So that's cool, man. No,
Yeah,
that's
bro.
that's awesome to have. You know, it's as I'm not gonna sit here and kind of brush it off, but that's a big thing, man. Seriously, that's a big thing, and I just want to thank you for that, bro, because there are so many people that that hit a wall because they just don't know how to get over it, and it's
Mhm.
as simple as reaching out to a friend, man, or reaching out to somebody, right? And that person being you and lending a helping hand like that. So that's awesome, bro.
Bro.
That's awesome.
I appreciate that, dude.
I love that. All right, man. So those are
Next
your 3
one.
words?
Yeah, those are my three phrases.
Or 3 phrases. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
That's cool. The next one here is one of my favorite ones because this is something that I constantly ask myself, I'd say maybe like twice a year.
Okay. Okay.
All right. So what drives you? It's like a second part or motivates you because a drive, motivation, I think they go hand in hand, man. So what is that for you?
What drives me, I think, is those 3 titles. Honestly, man, I don't ever want to leave this world thinking that my purpose was not being used to the very last minute.
Mm-hmm.
You know, to the very last minute, I want like to speak to people about life.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's what drives me is like every day, like every action I take with my wife, with friends, with social media, like if I'm not testifying to someone about how good the Lord has been,
Yeah.
then I think like I feel frustrated. I mean, we talked on the first session about me doing 75 hard.
Yeah.
And I stopped for like a week doing like almost none of it, dude. And I was so frustrated, bro. It was painful.
Yeah.
Because my purpose is attached to a lot of those tasks only because like it helps amplify like the type of life I want to live.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So yeah, that's my answer.
That's what it is.
Yeah, I wanna testify with everything that I do how good God is.
That's
I would
awesome,
say.
bro. That's awesome. That's the foot on the pedal for you.
Dude, absolutely.
That's awesome, man. I love that answer. All right, so the third one, if you could give your 20-year-old self any tips, advice, counsel, what would it be or what would they be?
Bro, that is such a hard question, dude. Dude, I was a mess. 20-year-old?
Yeah,
20-year-old,
years
right?
old, man.
Dude, I was actually doing awesome things and for all the wrong reasons when I was 20 years old. I was in like a really, really great university in New York, but I was there almost escaping what was happening back home.
Yeah.
We'll talk more about that, but I think the biggest advice that I would give is to seek the Lord, like, and be honest with yourself and with the things you're feeling.
Yeah.
and then forgive in this like what do you call it, escape like mindset where I was, which was in New York.
Right.
I wasn't seeking the Lord the right way,
Mm-hmm.
and by extension I wasn't being honest with the situations that were happening at me or with me, and the situations that were happening outside of me. I
Okay.
was kind of ignoring a lot of what was going on back home.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was kind of like, and I was not truly forgiving a lot of people that had hurt me during that time.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like taking it out on everyone else, and in a weird way, like
Yeah.
in a very like escape culture type of way, like where I was just like doing things I wasn't supposed to. That's just
Masking some of the things, right?
Oh, that's
Yeah.
good, dude. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
At 20 years old, I know this is not what we were gonna do, but
Yeah.
at 20 years old, what would you tell yourself?
So I asked that question because that's something I always think about. Really,
Mhm.
now as a 34-year-old, I just exposed my age.
I'm 32, so it's
But
been a minute for us.
okay, but I think number one is you hit it right on the money, which was for me it would be trust in God, trust in the Lord, and give Him everything.
Oh, yeah, that's the way to say it.
Give Him everything, and I don't just mean like your prayer and your Wednesdays and Sundays. I mean your worries, your praises, your doubts, your sickness, everything, man, because that has been something in these last 6 months that I have truly just pinned down. And I'm really speaking to Him on an hourly basis, even if it's just the minimalist thing.
Yeah, yeah,
Like, thank you, Lord. I just finished my workout. I acknowledge Him right away.
yeah,
Thank you, God, that I feel great this morning.
yeah.
Thank you that I'm eating right now.
I play these songs that are so cheesy, bro. And I like really feel good about like
Like Christian music?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
that's like God, you've been like, I love that song by Elevation, you've
Okay.
been so good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Bro, I can't stop because it's what you're saying,
It's the truth, man.
almost on a minute by minute
Yeah,
basis.
yeah. It's the truth, man. I think for me, it'd be that one, number one, as a 20-year-old. And number two is be patient. It's not going to happen tomorrow. It might not happen in a month. It's not going to happen in 2 years, but just be patient. And, the first part of that, which is the God part, I think that eliminates a bunch of other stupidity or
Yeah.
immaturity that I was dealing with at the time.
Hmm.
Because you have that in place, man, and you'd be surprised how easily the dominoes start falling in your favor.
And a lot of people say, no, it's because I gotta get it out. I gotta get my youth out. I gotta go make my mistakes. No, you don't, dude.
My gosh, dude,
Yeah.
it's so cliche too, right?
Yeah,
Like, I gotta live those college days. I
yeah. I gotta go
do
make.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah. No, man, you know what? I'm somebody that didn't live it. I tried to, but when I was already a father, a husband, and it's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life, man. It's one of those things that, if a bunch of the youth can just see, like, right, we're talking from the future to the past now. If they can see, what they would look like, or the things that they can avoid by just not running that way, is life-saving, bro. Like, you can avoid so many things, right? But there's times when I come about that and I say, well, those are mistakes that make me who I am today. There's a way to avoid that stuff.
my pushback to that is that God makes amazing things out of horrible mistakes. That's more like God just fixing our mistakes
Yeah.
than like the mistakes defining. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I get you. It's more, yeah.
Like, just
Man,
to agree,
that's
I'm
loaded.
agreeing with you.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's loaded though, because
Yeah.
I know what you mean, bro. It's just very, very detailed in that sense, right? Where,
Like, who knows what would have happened if we would have not made those mistakes?
yeah,
It could have been different.
Yeah.
I mean, we are where we are now. We're grateful for it.
Yeah.
And God makes amazing things out of the worst circumstances.
yeah, man. Well, I think we're both living proof of that,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Because as life goes on, yeah, we're in our 30s right now, but there'll be new chapters at late 30s, early 40s, 50s,
And still mistakes to make.
and still mistakes to make.
Yeah,
I think to the day
exactly.
you take your last breath here, bro, you're gonna be making mistakes.
Yeah.
It's just the way it is, right? It's the way of the world. It's humanity. God talks about it. Nobody's perfect, but it's something that now that I have God, that I have a family, that I have a wife that supports me, that I support as well, is I wouldn't want to say it like this, like I'm looking forward to those mistakes, but I think that I'm looking forward to those lessons to be learned with my family
Yeah, I
as
agree.
a whole.
Because there's some things you don't know what you don't know sometimes,
Yeah.
and that's where those lessons come in handy.
Yeah.
I agree, and I think the difference now is that as we're giving advice to our 20-year-old self, seek the Lord.
Yeah.
Forgive those you gotta forgive, and yeah, I think you said it in one of your other answers. Enjoy the ride.
Enjoy the journey,
Just
man.
enjoy the journey.
Enjoy it. You know
Yeah.
what? That's something that and I'm just gonna touch on this real quick, but Kobe mentioned that on his farewell tour, that's the advice that Jordan gave him. Like, enjoy it, man. Just enjoy
Yeah.
the ride, right? And
Yeah.
we're talking about his last season.
Yeah.
But if you, I grabbed that and put it into one thing, and I'm like, why can't we just think about that as a whole?
As a whole.
You know, his situation was, obviously what was going on then, but I grabbed it and said, man, enjoy the journey through everything, right? The ups
Yeah.
and downs, the being a dad, the being a husband, the being an employer, being a friend, everything, man. Just enjoy the journey.
I agree, bro.
Yeah.